That's never going to fucking happen. I'm like, sorry? She's, that's never going to happen. I go, if you don't mind me asking, how many leads you need? She says, I need to get like 500 leads a day or some 500 leads a week. And I go, right. And I knew as soon as she said that, she had picked an outrageous number to start with. So I said, well, how much money do you want to make? What was your starting figure? She says, $1 million a year. Well, when you were last employed, what were you doing? She says, I was working in retail. I said, okay, so when you were previously employed, how much was the most money you'd ever made in a year prior to having this conversation? And I think it was like 30 odd grand, 35 grand. I said, well, look, with love and respect, is it possible that you make $1 million in a year? Absolutely. But if previously you only have had the skills of working in retail and only been able to derive economic value of $34,500 a year, then I probably am not picking $1 million as your first goal, only because of the fact that unless you have tremendous self-belief, you're going to feel like it's going to be, well, fuck, that's never going to happen. No one put a gun to your head and said you had to pick 100 or $1 million. You picked that. You could have aimed for 50,000, which would have still been a huge amount more than you've ever made in your life. You're the one that picked an outrageous figure, saying, I want to climb Everest, but I've never even gone for a walk around the block. No shit, it's going to be hard. But you can understand how people self-sabotage, right? If you're going to pick a figure, pick a stretch figure that is inspiring, not a figure that just makes you go, what's the fucking point of playing this game? Yes, like you have to be a willing participant in your own rescue, right? So pick whatever you want. I'm not going to say anything's more reasonable or realistic than the other. But if you're inspired by it, and to the extent that you're inspired, pick that figure. But if it goes beyond you being inspired to them being, well, this is a ridiculous waste of time, well, you're the one that played the game in a dumb way.